Doop, 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 doop. The timer ran out. We are in the picking phase. Let me go ahead and start this VOD. And then my computer crashes. Hello and welcome to another exciting Dota 2 game. I am, of course, Gerald Menard. This is GhostofGamers.net, and today we are going to be watching a game that I've been looking forward to. It is MiTh-Trust versus our reigning champions, Team Australia, over here on the Dire. MiTh-Trust, our heroes from Thailand, the hopes and dreams of Southeast Asia. Over on the left, they are playing the Radiant. Right away, we're going to see a ban of Broodmother by the Dire. Gods is, of course, their team captain over here. I'm not sure because it does actually scramble up their names. Furion, a very standard ban there. Not too much to be surprised by on either team. Broodmother, obviously a hero that has been added very recently, went into the patch last week. Just now this week became available for that captain's mode. And, not Team Australia not taking a lot of chances, not leaving her in play as an option. Even though they have that first pick, they don't want to deal with it. So, in terms of bans, we are going to see them move forward, head over and ban Anti-Mage, another standard pick. We have seen both teams focused on basically banning carries. Generally, we see a lot of carry bans because right now there aren't those heroes that are able to counter them super effectively. Anti-Mage is a hero that, without some of the picks from this week in there, can be very, very effective. There aren't a whole lot of counters to him at this point. So, pretty standard to see both Furion and Anti-Mage being taken out, being removed from the pool very, very rapidly. And then, of course, our final ban for this first stage is going to be Lich. Good choice by MiTh-Trust. Not really all that surprising. Lich is one of those heroes where we've actually been seeing him banned a lot more in the Dota 2 metagame than Ancient Apparition, simply because Lich is one of those heroes that is able to provide support and assistance throughout the entire game in a much more tangible way, whereas Ancient Apparition, we haven't seen Ancient Apparition banned as much in favor of banning Lich, as Ancient Apparition's ultimate, while amazing, doesn't really stack up against Frost Armor going into the late game based on the number of heroes and the selection available here. So we are actually going to see a surprise pickup from the Dire. First pick Ancient Apparition, opting to grab him after that Lich ban. Lich is one of those heroes, Ancient Apparition, as we were just saying, has an ultimate very, very powerful, especially if he's able to get into one of those solo lanes, get some good farm going, get that ultimate point up, and then just start rapid firing it as regularly as he can, keeping it very active to assist with ganks. Over on MiTh-Trust, as they go into their picking stage, we're going to see Weaver and Winter are picked up, two very standard heroes. Weaver, one of the hardest carries remaining. Obviously, there's Spectre and Weaver at this point, and MiTh-Trust opting to go with Weaver because Weaver's sort of a little bit more in between, has that escape ability, has that survival ability, and wow, everyone racing to get all their picks. I can't even finish talking about all the exciting things going on. Windrunner, very standard support, can take a solo lane, can do a lot of exciting stuff there. So those are probably going to be their two solos. Over on the Dire, over on Team Australia, we see them picking up Chen and Beastmaster, two heroes that they've done a lot of good things with in the past. Chen, obviously, so powerful with that ultimate of his, especially if he is able to get enough farm and pick up a Scepter earlier on. That Scepter does a lot of good things. Beastmaster, strong strength support, able to get in there, initiate, able to provide that attack speed, or his ultimate in the form of really, really good stun, for like blinking in on top of someone and dropping them, essentially, with the assistance of his teammates. So Beastmaster, another very, very solid pick, and we see a very gank-heavy, sort of initiation-heavy setup over here on Team Australia. And I think we're going to see them focusing on a very, very aggressive playstyle. We've seen them do this occasionally, and I know that it's a style that they do really like, is to be very, very forward and just constantly, relentlessly attacking. So in terms of what we can expect to see over here for MiTh-Trust, obviously they've got their carry. We could see some sort of tank Looks like in the background, I think we saw green reconnect, which is always good. And so over on MiTh-Trust, excuse me, I'm getting lost. My bird brain sort of flittering around. You know, they are going into their bonus time, and, you know, they are going to pick up Venomancer, which is interesting. Venomancer is a hero that's able to serve as sort of a soloer, can serve as a supporter, can push, that sort of thing. So we're probably going to see Venomancer in a supporting role here. They could go with some sort of tri-lane composition. Obviously, Windrunner would have a solo lane there. They'd get the tri-lane for Weaver, but they could also go with, you know, a Venomancer in a long lane. There's a lot of different directions they can take things there. We are going to go back into the bans, and let's see what these second bans do have in store for us. Tidehunter being taken out by the Dire, Dazzle being taken out by the Radiant. MiTh-Trust obviously keeping an eye on those Team Australia VODs and checking them out, seeing that Team Australia has done such a good job with that Dazzle, and, you know, even though their star player, their star Dazzle player has not been here, you know, he's still a very, very potent hero in the hands of a team, especially when he's able to provide that supporting role. I don't know that we would have seen him in this current lineup, but, you know, MiTh-Trust opting not to take any chances. In terms of bans for the Dire, we are going to see them taking out Tidehunter as well as Earthshaker. And, you know, two very, very strong team-fight-oriented heroes, both of which would have been able to segment nicely into this lineup with that AE stun, with that sort of tank yet AE team fight role. And, you know, Team Australia is really deciding with those bans to try and limit the choices available to the Radiant. And so what we're going to see is that MiTh-Trust is a little bit more limited in terms of which strength heroes, which tanks they can pick up to try and sort of segment and lock into that team fight mode. And here we see a pick that I really, really like. This is, we're seeing a really, really strong combination coming out of Team Australia over here with this Enigma pickup. That's going to give them Black Hole. That's going to give them two huge initiates with the Beastmaster and Enigma ultimates. That's going to give them game-wide heal, game-wide ganking with Ancient Apparition, or game-wide nuking with Ancient Apparition, minions for pushing, Enigma for pushing. This is going to be a very push-heavy, very aggressive, very gank-heavy team, and I'm really excited to see what Team Australia can do with this amazing lineup that they've got going on. Over on MiTh-Trust, we're going to see them pick up Vengeful Spirit, another support hero, very, very strong. Probably going to see the two, Vengeful Spirit and Venomancer, in that sort of supporting role, lining up those stuns, lining up those carries, lining up the stuns, lining up the wards, making sure that they're able to just provide the support and assistance that their other heroes are going to need. Drow Ranger as a hard pickup for Team Australia to round out their team. An interesting choice, you know, sort of rolling over it in my head here, is if they were going to pick a carries, they had something like Spectre, they had Drow Ranger, they had Spectre, they had, I'm trying to think who else is like a really good carry that's currently in. You know, those two are sort of the higher options right there. And they opted for Drow Ranger because she is obviously going to do lots and lots of damage, especially with that farm. And the silence is going to be very, very crucial. If you look at the sorts of abilities that are coming out of the Radiant so far, as we can see, a silence on Weaver going to do a good job of holding him down. Venomancer, you know, silence can be very crucial in tipping those fights. Queen of Pain is the final pickup for MiTh-Trust. So Queen of Pain, obviously a hero that was implemented very recently, implemented last week. And that should be really good. Why are people disconnecting? You don't need to disconnect. Don't need to... Hang on one second, guys. It looks like we are having a little bit of miscommunication. Sorry, that sort of is making me very confused. I guess we're As for reforming, let me throw that on pause. We will be taking a brief moment, and we will be back in just a second. Thank you for your patience, guys. Yeah, huh? What the heck just happened there? Okay, hang on one second, guys. I gotta figure out why we just had nobody's talking to me. I'm gonna cut things out for just a moment. Be right back. Okay, sorry about that. Anyway, okay, so all is well. Things are fixed. Okay, we're going to get right back into that nice and easy small interruption. Launching back up, fire. Yeah, that's over there. We'll just go with that one. Hopping through my overlays. Okay, thank you for your patience, guys. Sorry about that. Let me go and reconnect it here. I guess what ended up happening there is Black Shaitan had to restart his computer. So they had to reboot real quick, restart the game. He was not able to reconnect. No big deal. We're just going to get right back into the game right away here. This is, of course, all picked. They already picked their heroes, so they're just going to rush right through NBD. So let me regain my momentum. Queen of Pain, great pickup there. Very, very fragile team here for the Radiant. And it'll be very interesting to... Alright, and we are back. Thank you for being patient, guys. Just had to get in there and get things fixed up. A little bit of player computer issues. Both teams are going to settle in now. We do have everybody getting into position. And, you know, I've got to say, it's very interesting to look at the totally different... We have a pause. Looks like Gods had to reconnect. I think. Okay, so slight disconnect there from Gods. Everybody settling in. Let's go ahead and see what we got. We have Vengeful Spirit with some dust, some clarity potions, some tangos. Words, blah, 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 blah. Nothing really exciting. You know, you always sort of see the same starting items. So as I was saying, we see a very, very aggressive push-centric build from the Dire over here, from Team Australia. They are going to be in a position to do a lot of early shoving. For the top lanes, we are going to see Ancient Apparition and Drow Ranger. Over in the middle, we're going to see Beastmaster soloing that mid lane. For Enigma, we're going to see him soloing bottom. With Chen, obviously the two of them will probably do some very aggressive, like maybe enemy jungling while they're in that bottom lane. So it won't be a solo, it'll be a duel there. They're going to go for a 2-1-2. They do have an early ward giving them and preventing that creep pull spot. Are we going to see some counter warding from MiTh-Trust? Looks like they're going for a tri-lane in that top lane. They're going to go Vengeful Spirit, Venomancer, and Windrunner for the top lane. Down the bottom, we're going to see Weaver, and in the middle, we will see Queen of Pain is a very strong early to mid-game carry. Shen is going to head over into the forest, nothing too aggressive. And from them, but we do see MiTh-Trust moving up the river, looking for an opportunity to get a little bit of ganking, just protecting their Vengeful Spirit while she places that ward to prevent the pull, and the tri-lane should settle in pretty early on. Drow Ranger, a hero that, let's talk about these laning compositions. We have Drow Ranger versus Windrunner. Drow Ranger, a hero that's very notoriously fickle early on with the attack animation, and if you watch, it's a very slow animation. We're going to see a gank attempt here on that Ancient Apparition. Stun as well as the Venom Spray coming out of Venomancer. Power shot on the Ancient Apparition. He is going to go down with the first blood going to Windrunner. Very quick aggression from that MiTh-Trust team. Great dive in there, making great use of their illusions, and if we look at the health here, a little bit of damage being done to Venomancer, but basically nothing happened. Very, very good start for MiTh-Trust there. First blood right out of the gate at about 1 minute. Going to see Slicks with his Enigma down against Weaver in this bottom lane. Weaver doing a little bit of harass early on. Over in the middle, Queen of Pain doing her best to annoy the heck out of that Beastmaster, using that thrown dagger of hers, Shadow Strike, I guess it's called in this game. I think that was different in Dota 1, to harass using her auto attack. If you guys are wondering where Chen is, don't worry. Chen is, in fact, that red X. That's because he disconnected. He is going to pop a smoke. He's got a Centaur on hand with that Holy Persuasion. He is going to look around and maybe go for a gank here. I can't help but wonder how well this is going to work. I'm not too sure. That he is going to mill around in this river looking for an opportunity to get some ganking in there. We see a couple pings from Venomancer going out, sort of warning the middle lane, but I don't think it's going to make a big difference. And there's the Centaur in there for the double stun. Wow, cold feet on Vengeful Spirit. Vengeful Spirit goes down instantly. Is Venomancer going to be able to get away? There's not enough mana on that Centaur to stun again, but I think Chen is going to be able to move up and double kill, taking out Venomancer as well. And will Windrunner get away? The answer is it doesn't matter, because she is going to take out Drow Ranger with that power shot. There goes the Ice Vortex, slowing down Windrunner, diving back into the forest, looking to evade, looking to juke. Ancient Apparition is, of course, out of mana. I feel like she should be okay. She's popping that healing salve to get away. There's not enough mana for the stun there on that Minotaur, and yeah, they should be able to get away. Not too much problem. She is going to have to pop that wind run and escape at about 170 health. Very aggressive play by both teams. 2 for 2 right now, and we're only 3 minutes into the game. This is exactly what I was hoping for. Really, really strong play by both players. By both teams, and lots of aggressions. That's always what you hope for in these show matches. We're going to see Chen return to the jungle, continue his work, continue getting that experience. Venomancer moving up and actually getting a little bit too eager, getting seen by that catapult and actually tipping his hand. He's going to have to back off. Over here in the bottom lane, Enigma has gotten pushed back to his tower, and Weaver is unfortunately unable to pull since he has that ward on him now. Enigma taking a lot of damage, so Weaver is going to be able to maybe get a kill there in the near future. Not right now, though. He is going to have to retreat. He does not want to dive that tower. He does only have about 587 health. And that's one of those things you got to know about Weaver. He is a hero that's really quite good in the late game, but to begin with, he's got just very little health. And he's a hero that you've got to sort of thread the needle's edge when you are trying to do that forward aggressive playstyle at the very beginning of the game, because he just does not have the health to back it up. So it looks like Slicks is out of regen items, and Ix knows this. He's actually going to dive here, dropping a Dark Swarm on a couple chugs of that potion. That bottle is delivered just in time. He is able to get some health back up, and Weaver actually retreats at just the right amount of time. Beastmaster still struggling to keep up with that Queen of Pain. Queen of Pain is such a good mid hero, especially when she's got a bottle. She's got good rune control. And Quibbler is going to be a little bit annoying and prevent her from running back quite as fast as she'd like, but Beastmaster is forced to play a very defensive role. He would like to be in there getting that farm, not able to do so because she can just do so much damage if she can get a blink in on him. Meanwhile, up in the top, Chen coming in on that top lane, moving around looking for an opportunity to get a gank. He does have a Troll Warlord with that Ensnare, with that Raised Dead, and will look to pick up another kill, but is deciding to back off instead. Probably wise. The reason that initial gank worked and that major attack and double kill worked is because they were pushed all the way up just around the corner of this forest area. And so because of that, Hang on 1 second. Are we going to see Enigma go down? I think the answer is yes. Malefice is trying to make me wrong, though, and Malefice is going to make me wrong. That multi-stun from the Enigma doing just enough to hold Weaver back, preventing a kill there. Weaver doing a good job of farming. If we look at the creep kills, we have Weaver at 24, Queen of Pain at 19, and Gods at 16, and Enigma at 13. So definitely much better farming on the part of MiTh-Trust. Our Thailand team doing a really good job of just taking charge of the game. They are ahead by about 1,000 gold. They are, of course, over here on the Radiant, for those of you who are wondering which team is which. And very, very impressed with the MiTh-Trust play. You know, this is exactly why they did very, very well in some of those tournaments, and of course in the international. So we do have an Enigma returning to this bottom lane, and both teams are sort of settling down a little bit, looking for opportunities to get some farm going, try and get some of those central items. If we do an item check, we have Weaver with that Ring of Health with the Basilius for Windrunner, Bottle Boots on Queen of Pain. Nothing too exciting or hinky in there. Looks like we're going to see that Queen of Pain come in here. She does miss her ultimate on that Enigma, but it's not going to matter. Shadow Strike on Enigma, letting Weaver get that final hit. The score is now 3-2 in favor of the Radiant. MiTh-Trust taking a lead for the first time in the game. And, you know, excuse me, they're not taking a lead for the first time. They are continuing their lead, taking the lead in kills. Yeah, they obviously got that first blood, which is very helpful. That was going to the Windrunner. She got 200 extra gold for the first blood. We're going to see a full health Beastmaster level 6 come in here. Maybe look to engage. You know, it's really a question of who he can land his stun on. Obviously, Venomancer is only level 3, Vengeful Spirit only 4, Windrunner only 4. So, you know, a high-level Beastmaster may be able to do some damage there. He's going to position his Hawk here, giving him complete knowledge of the area. Shen maybe angling in. Drow Ranger coming in, maybe getting a little over-aggressive. There's the stun on Venomancer. Is Drow Ranger going to be able to finish him off and get away? The answer is no. Venomancer goes down to the Beastmaster, but Drow Ranger going down to Windrunner. Lots of damage being done to that Vengeful Spirit with Chen. Chen coming in for the backup. I think we're going to see Windrunner get away. She hasn't even used her Windrun. But, you know, that evens things out a little bit. The score is now 4-4. That's 1 kill, 2 kill for the Dire, 1 kill for the Radiant. And, you know, both teams just being tirelessly aggressive in their assault on the other teams. I can't help but feel that the Drow Ranger attack there was just a little bit sloppy, though. That decision to move down this ramp, really revealing and putting herself into a position where there's like, you know, honey, you don't have a whole lot of health. Not good things are not going to come of this. And in fact, you know, she did end up paying for that. We did see 2 kills for the Radiant there, or excuse me, for the Dire there. But it's a little bit questionable about how, you know, was that sacrifice maybe the greatest. I think they could have probably come away with maybe 1 kill, 0 deaths. So, you know, a little bit of room for some cleanup there on that play. We're going to see Venomancer actually using his wards to try and get some farm done in this middle lane. Doing a little bit of aggression. That tower is about half health, so Queen of Pain did manage to get some damage done to it. Going through the items, we see Magic Wand over on Windrunner. We see Power Treads on Queen of Pain. Void Stone on Shen. Nothing too crazy. Looking over at the creep counts, though, we see Weaver at 47 creep kills. That is 9 minutes into the game. We also see a big engagement. Venomancer getting caught here by a lot of the Radiant team. By a lot, without any help from the Radiant team. A lot of members of the Dire here, and I think we may see Queen of Pain go down. She is running as fast as she can. Her blink is on cooldown. She has not skilled it up. And that's a very, very aggressive, sort of risky style. Obviously, it puts her in a position where that blink is not going to be off cooldown if she needs it. That ability to, you know, to teleport away it starts off at a 12-second cooldown and only goes down to about a 6. So unless you're putting those points into it, it takes quite a bit of those 6 seconds really add up in those clutch situations like that, where you're just sitting there staring at the little, you know, the cooldown timer as it spins. So going back to what I was saying, we do see Weaver running at about 5 creeps per minute. He is at 53 creep kills right now, compared to the next highest on his team is 33, and then the next highest in the game is 30. So definitely a situation where MiTh-Trust is able to farm very, very well here. And, really doing a great job of keeping their gold income high. They are about 1,000 gold up on the Dire. We're going to see Chen actually get caught here and totally annihilated. Windrunner with a dominating. We are going to see an ultimate in here on that Windrunner. Windrunner goes down. Beastmaster retreating as fast as he can. He eats the Dark Swarm. Here comes Weaver rushing in, diving through, getting that Shikuchi off. He is going to be able to get this Beastmaster if he chases just a little bit. Windrunner actually with a buyback. Weaver is silenced as well as forested, but Weaver is able to get him down with that Dark Swarm as well as Ancient Apparition. Double kill for Weaver. Ancient Apparition going down, Beastmaster going down. Weaver maybe in a little bit of trouble here. He does get off that Shikuchi. He is stunned, though, from that Malefist. He is able to retreat thanks to the help of Queen of Pain, forcing back that Enigma. Enigma unable to engage with Queen of Pain there. She did have enough mana to ensure that, you know, a couple of Screams could be very, very problematic. And, you know, I think the Windrunner buyback, a little bit unusual. She didn't really end up making a difference, but it did. You know, the one thing about buybacks is that you can't afford to maybe use them at an early level, and suddenly, you know, we see this middle tower going down. Queen of Pain, Venomancer are able to get in there with the wards, and, you know, things looking a little bit shifty. We do, in fact, have Team Australia with a 1-kill lead, but if we look at the gold lead, things are, you know, the rating are up about 2,400 gold. Weaver doing a really good job. Has a Vanguard already, has a Basilius, has a Magic Wand. He's really getting his farm on. He's 3-0 with 57 creep kills, and that's basically double what anyone on the Dire has. So things looking very, very comfortable for MiTh-Trust going into the 12-minute mark of this game. We're going to see a big engagement coming on soon. Both Chen, Beastmaster, and Ancient Apparition running up here, looking to try and take out some of those wards, forcing back MiTh-Trust, forcing back that tri-lane, and, you know, Drow Ranger continuing to farm up at the top lane. So it's going to be a very, very tricky situation for Team Australia, and they really just need to focus on controlling the game a little bit better, making sure that they're stopping this Weaver from farming. He's been mostly free farming in that bottom lane. Enigma was not able to stop him. Enigma, you know, Enigma was basically forced out of the lane with regularity, and Weaver just sort of hanging out down there farming. So a little bit questionable right there. We are going to see Chen and Beastmaster doing some team farming. It's always nice when you go into the forest. It's scary. There are wolves in there. There are big bad wolves. Take a friend, hang out together. Enigma doing a little bit of harass of Queen of Pain here, using those Eidolons as well as a Malefist to just, you know, push him back. And we're actually going to see a big smoke here from this Beastmaster-Chen combination, hitting all their minions. We've got 2 Dark Warlords, we've got 2 Incinerators, we've got a stun as well. There's the Ice Vortex, and they're going to go straight on Windrunner. There's the ultimate out of Venomancer. Windrunner getting swapped. It is not enough. The Cold Feet will take her out. Chen gets final kill with that killing spree. That ultimate ticking for so much damage. Weaver's here, though, and a lot of damage with that ultimate from the Venomancer. We see a futile Ancient Apparition ultimate. It is not enough. Vengeful Spirit is able to get a kill on AA. And, you know, wow, suddenly things are looking very, very good. That Venomancer ultimate, so strong right there. Weaver is just going to drive in here and look for an opportunity. There's a big ultimate out of Queen of Pain, hitting everybody. Weaver takes out Drow Ranger. Weaver's going to be looking for probably, yeah, he sees Chen, he sees Enigma, he wants blood. He does not have the mana to Shikuchi again, but he is probably going to be able to get off at least one Germinated attack. No! Queen of Pain with a blink in by taking out Chen. Great play there. Windrunner taking out Beastmaster. Holy crap. MiTh-Trust demonstrating why they are a top-tier team. That Venomancer ultimate doing so much damage there. We saw Gods dancing through the woods. He was able to you know, protect some members of his team, but wow, it just was not enough. Weaver was able to get in there, chase him through the woods, and already has about 2K in the bank already. He is at 4-0 with 2 assists and 71 creep kills. Very, very strong position for MiTh-Trust as we move forward. And, you know, just, wow, they're completely on fire today. They're up about 50%. In terms of gold income, they are at about 19,000 earned compared to 13,000. Things are looking very, very good for them. And, you know, it's one of those things where we've just seen a couple of little missed engagements here. The big Venomancer ult, very, very powerful there. Caught 4 members of their team ticking down so hard. I mean, even though he's only level 6, he's only level 8, he's only got a level 6 ult, you know, that 36 tick for 12 seconds just does so much damage, and it's able to really soften them up, which allowed Weaver to go in there, allowed Queen of Pain to blink in there, start firing off those screams, all that fun stuff, and really get some work done. So the score is now 11-9, very early lead, and sort of being continued and pushed out by that Thailand team. So good job, MiTh-Trust. They are going to push on this bottom tower here. It is at about half health, and this should go down pretty easily with the combined might of their team. Vengeful Spirit getting that last hit. And going through and checking on some items, we see wards, standard support stuff for Vengeful Spirit. Arcane Boots for Venno, so playing that support role. Vanguard, and it looks like probably going for a Relic here. We are going to see a counter push by the Dire team. They're going to get in here, do some damage, probably take out this tower. I do not expect that Fortify is going to be enough, especially when they don't teleport back in. But you know what? Myth is just going to go ahead and take out another tower, getting in there. And is Weaver going to be able to get this one? No. Queen of Pain picks it up. Beastmaster takes this middle tower for Radiant. So that is, in fact, 2 towers down for... Or, sorry. 2 towers for the price of 1, always a good trade. If we look at an overall count of the towers, there are 4 down for the Dire, 4 Team Australia, only 1 down for the Radiant. Weaver getting in here, continuing his farm, making very aggressive use of that Town Porter Scroll. He does notice them coming up that ridge and is able to retreat just in time, knowing that the gank is there for him, and opting not to die. Always a good decision. Looking at the creep counts right now, you see about 80 creep kills for that Weaver. He is doing a really fantastic job of farming. He should have that Sacred Relic. Probably about 20 minutes, I'm going to guess. You know, if we look actually at the hard numbers, he's at about 391 gold per minute right now. Windrunner at about 314. No one in the Dire actually able to hit 300. Chen, the closest, at about 280. So really, really strong farm on multiple heroes from MiTh-Trust. And that's exactly what they need to do with these heroes as they go towards the end game. You know, this aggressive gank-centric style of Team Australia really hasn't developed quite as much as it should. And, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that goes. So we see a couple of guys drawing on the path. We are going to see a gank here. There are 4 of them smoked in, rushing into the area. I think they've got the... Were they seen? Well, they are now. Venomancer getting in there. Big ultimate is going to hit 4 members of the enemy team. Enigma taking so much damage. Is he going to be able to survive? Yes, he is with that Chen ultimate. Queen of Pain going down to that Beastmaster axe and ultimate. Windrunner firing off her Windrunner is not enough to get her away. Things turning around very, very rapidly for Team Australia. There's a swap attempt by Vengeful Spirit. It will not be enough to save her. Weaver's going in and doing work. He does take down Chen. That's a mega kill. Ancient Apparition gets down Vengeful Spirit. 3 members of the Radiant team dead, with only 1 member of the Dire dead. And Australia doing their best to stay in this, really bringing things back together. Venomancer firing off his ult, but not able to get anything happening there. We are going to see a teleport back for about 3.1k, and
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, that's exactly what Australia needed to do. The score is now 12-12. They are evening things up a little. They're doing their best to try and dig into that gold advantage of the Radiant. And we will see them continuing to work. They can continue to work their magic, and if they can take this first, this is a best of 3, guys. That means, that's right, this is only the first game. That Weaver will be finishing his relic very, very shortly here. We can take a look over at Venomancer. He picked up a mech. He's got some smoke. Windrunner with her phase boots and her ring of health. And then over on Queen of Pain, yes, we have a Force Staff. Force Staff, a very versatile ability. Great for interrupting some of those channels. You know, should be very, very useful for dealing with Enigma if Enigma's ever able to get off a major black hole. We will see that Force Staff come into play. Weaver able to just continue farming here. Chen just below him, opting not to engage. Chen does, of course, have Arcane Boots as well as Mech. And he's in a good position going forward. Drow with Power Treads and Blade of Alacrity. Vanguard for Beastmaster, nothing too major aside from those points already. Over here, we maybe see an Ancient Apparition Illusion getting caught. Big plays there coming out of MiTh-Trust, taking down that Illusion with complete ease. Totally comfortable with that fight. And then some team jungling. No problem. So taking a look at the overall state of wards, we do of course have wards down here covering that bottom room, covering that mid river area, and that'll do it for the Dire. Over on the Radiant, we are going to have a ward covering that top river area, and that's about it for them. Both teams keeping a little bit of an idea of what's going on in terms of where things are, and we're actually going to see MiTh-Trust forming up for another push bottom. They do have 4 members of their team. Weaver is going to push that top lane while the 4 of them push forward. There's another ward from the Sentry. They are pinging it, being very, very helpful. I just say the Sentry. There's another ward from the Radiant. Pinging it, being very, very helpful, letting me know where that ward is. We're going to see Venom Spray slowing down and forcing back that Chen. There's the Ensnare on Venomancer. Force Staff used very effectively by Queen of Pain, leaping him forward. There's the swap out. They're doing their best to save that Venomancer, but you know the Dire really want him. Big ultimate hits 3 members of their enemy team. Venomancer getting off his ultimate hits only Chen and Beastmaster, and actually also Drow Ranger. You will see Venomancer go down, but he got off his ultimate. He did his piece. Vengeful Spirit retreating as fast as she can. They do have coverage down here by that tower, and they should be able to retreat, but they may lose a tower for their trouble. Of course, Weaver, meanwhile, in the top area, he does have enough for that Radiance. He has picked up his Relic. Down the bottom, Queen of Pain and Windrunner looking for an opportunity. I think a little bit over-eager there. They should be getting way the heck back. There's just so many stuns and bad things there. Vengeful Spirit is going to go down. She gets caught by the Pain Train. That Ice Vortex is enough to hold her in place just long enough for that Cold Feet. Windrunner turning around, getting hit by that slow, and suddenly a bad thing is going to happen. There's the Malefice. Those Eidolons are up. She does have Windrun up, and he is trying to body block. Will he be able to get in there and apply just enough damage? I think the answer is probably no. Not with the help of Shackle Shot. Will that ultimate? Yes, that ultimate is going to hit Windrunner. Is that going to kill her off? No. But it could have, so it was exciting. I was hoping for it. Just didn't happen. Over on Weaver, he has in fact finished his Radiance. He's got his Vanguard. It is about 23 minutes into the game. They are pushed up on 2 towers. MiTh-Trust in a hugely commanding position right here. Weaver getting so much farm going on. He's got that Vanguard. He's got that Radiance. He's got 126 creep kills because, hey, why not? Continuing his trend of getting about 5 creep kills per minute. Absolutely ridiculous. Go ahead and do an item check here. Mech. Looks like we do have a hood being picked up. Very good choice. If you notice, there is a lot of magic damage over there. And it's interesting. We've still seen, we see Australia continuing to really control these team fights, but they're continuing to fall further and further behind in gold earned. They are falling further and further behind in towers, and they're also really behind in farms. So they're just struggling. They're winning the little battles, but like the overall tempo of the game is definitely firmly in the grasp of MiTh-Trust, and they've been able to make such great aggression happen on the part of this Weaver. Weaver is at 5-0 with 2 assists, really able to get in, get a couple kills, and get the heck out. And that works out very, very well for them. It's so important when you have a carry who's able to earn that gold simply by, engaging, choosing when to engage, choosing when to fight, and then just retreating and not dying. And he hasn't even had to use time-lapse all that much. I've been keeping an eye on his ultimate timer, and time-lapse has not come up. You see Windrunner going for that pipe. She does have a headdress now. She will have enough gold for that recipe fairly soon. MiTh-Trust may be looking to pick up Roshan here. There are no wards from the Dire team. They do not have vision of that site. They can see... Oh, that button doesn't work in direct observer mode. That's problematic. They can see down to about here. So they know that if they approach Roshan from the right side, they're not going to be able to know. The Dire are not going to be able to know. Team Australia is not going to be able to know. But, you know, they do have a ward keeping an eye on part of the river. And we may, in fact, see... looks like MiTh-Trust is going to go for this middle tower here, for this second middle tower. Pushing in, continuing that aggressive style. They're way ahead in towers. And, you know, just doing a very, very good job of keeping the aggression up. Drow Ranger is... really not able to farm quite as much as she'd like to. She does have that Yasha. She's got an Ogre Club. Could be going for BKB. Could be going for an SNY. A couple different directions. Both decisions would be valid. And Weaver just continuing to farm really uninterrupted. And that's one of the things I like about this play coming out of MiTh-Trust. Is we are seeing them just like focus on controlling and keeping exactly where Team Australia is. While Weaver just farms. And then when Weaver gets in trouble or senses aggression or feels a little bit skittish, he just teleports away. And, you know, because he's got that massive, massive gold income, he's at 434 gold per minute. You know, that's like not an end game amount. That's like 434 flat. Wow, big blink in by Enigma. There's the black hole, catching both Vengeful Spirit and Windrunner. There's the ultimate out of Queen of Pain. It is not going to be enough. Beastmaster takes out Windrunner. Down goes Vengeful Spirit, and we're going to see Queen of Pain forced to retreat. The Venomancer ult hitting a couple members, 4 members of the Dire team. 5 members, actually. Hits everybody. Great play, great positioning by that Venomancer. Is not going to be enough, though. They've got that mechanism. They've got Chen heal, and, you know, they just are not able to get themselves into a position where they're able to capitalize on that Venomancer ult. Both Vengeful Spirit and Winter going down with no gain, no counter kills by the Radiant. But even so, it doesn't really dig into the gold lead. It doesn't really dig into the farm lead. We look at Weaver. He's level 17 right now. That's 4 levels ahead of everybody else. The rest of his team is 9, 10, 9, 11. And, you know, the Dire, the Dire are 11, 12, 13. But it just doesn't matter. Weaver just really in a position to farm well. Roshan is going to go down, though, and that should change things a little bit. Black Shaitan picking up that Aegis. He is, of course, that Drow Ranger. Weaver's still continuing to farm and doing a good job of it, but, you know, a Drow Ranger that's able to get off those shots and stand in the back and then stand up after they die is going to be in a very, very good position. So both teams still definitely in this. You know, the overall advantage is in the Radiant's favor simply due to their farm, due to their gold, and due to the number of towers killed. But if Team Australia is able to get off those big engagements, those big team fights, and get off those, you know, pick off 2 members of the enemy team, pick off 2 members of MiTh-Trust without losing anything, then they're in a very, very strong position going forward. So it looks like MiTh-Trust is going to move up here. They are going to gather up and push together. Maybe. No, they're just continuing to... You know, and we're seeing Myth continue to farm. They're in a very, very strong position right now. So it's really up to Australia to find, like, an opportunity for them to make one of these big team fights happen. And what we've really seen is that Australia hasn't been able to take advantage of their strong team fights. Wow! While I'm talking, it looks like Weaver got caught and absolutely brutalized. I would expect, yeah, we saw an ultimate come out of Beastmaster, that Beastmaster engage. So strong, stun being just enough to hold him down, and suddenly Australia in a very, very strong position to move in, try and get a gank off. They do have that smoke and engage. There's the ultimate, only picking up that Queen of Pain. It is going to be enough to finish her off, maybe. Venom Spray coming out of Venomancer, catching just Beastmaster. Windrunner in a lot of trouble, though, dropping very, very fast. That Drow able to do so much damage. Chen finishing her off with that Holy Persuasion, or excuse me, Test of Faith. We are going to see Queen of Pain get away with just a little bit of health, a little bit of a sad little ping from Enigma there, wanting someone to help, wishing someone would help, and of course it is not enough. Very, very strong play there by Australia, and certainly starting to tilt things back in their favor. That gold lead will not matter much if they're able to neutralize Weaver so effectively like that. You know, able to just push him down. If we look at the farm, Drow Ranger's starting to get her farm on. Enigma actually doing a good job. Both of them at about 100 creep kills, give or take. And then we see the Gem of True Sight on Beastmaster, which basically nullifies that Shikuchi, makes it so that Weaver is not able to just dance in and dance out like he's been doing so in the past. And that will be that will put them in a very, very strong position in these team fights, and certainly in these when Weaver is trying to, you know, solo push. And by being able to shut that sort of thing down, you know, Australia will be in a better position because they're simply higher level. You know, they've got good levels. They've got certainly more balanced levels. You know, they've got a 15 and a 14 instead of an 18 and a 12. And, you know, overall, Australia's team is a little bit more suited to sort of head into the end game and focus on picking up these major team fights. And that's where you can see their strategy and their plans start to shine. The question is, can they hold on long enough to make some of that come into play? Going to see Windrunner take a lot of damage here. Swap out by Vengeful Spirit. Ultimate from that Venomancer, hitting only two members of the enemy team. Drow Ranger taking out Vengeful Spirit, doing a lot of damage. Windrunner able to escape with that Windrunner, maybe. She does get slowed. There's the ultimate on Queen of Pain. There's the axes. There's the auto attacks. Queen of Pain just retreating with a blink. Is she going to get away? I think the answer is yes. Blinking away, but Drow Ranger does pick off Windrunner, picking up the double kill. Things looking very, very difficult for MiTh-Trust. All of a sudden, on the back feet, they've been down on kills pretty consistently. Now they're down 7 kills. That gold is tilting rapidly towards Team Australia, and they will be in a position where they can pick up a win here. If they continue the aggression, MiTh-Trust is going to have to find a way to deal with some of these ultimates, to deal with some of this team fight capability. Obviously, Chen, with his supporting role, is able to do so much to keep people alive. And, you know, we see a little bit better coordination here. It seems like Team Australia was a little bit sleepy, almost still sort of struggling to find their role in these games. And, you know, they've been able to wake up a little bit almost and get involved in the game, and suddenly their pushing strategy, their team fight strategy is really coming together nicely. And, you know, we're seeing Beastmaster able to pick people off with his stun. We're seeing Drow Rangers now has enough farm to survive. And, you know, stuff like that. Windrunner getting caught totally out of position here, absolutely instantly annihilated, going down in the blink of an eye, essentially. And there's a killing spree for Drow Ranger. Drow Ranger's starting to pick up some of the gold per minute. If we take a look at the hard numbers, things are at about 300 in favor, 300 gold per minute for Drow Ranger. So she has finally, picked up that area, picked up that gold, and has hit that carry level, and is going to be in a position to start getting the items she needs. So well done by Black Shaitan there, and, you know, I feel like Myth is maybe slowing down a little bit. They're losing some of their momentum. We are seeing him pick up. Oh, we do see Weaver picking up a Reaver. He should be going for that heart next. He is continuing that solo farming and doing a good job of that, leading the game with about 439 gold per minute. And excuse me. And we're going to see both teams just reset a little bit. Queen of Pain going for that Lincoln Sphere. She does have a Perseverance. She does have an ultimate orb. Regeneration. Gem of True Sight on that Venomancer so that he can clear out some of those wards and such. Windrunner's still working towards some of her items. And right now it's sort of a waiting game. We're going to see you know, Australia continue to look for big opportunities to get in there, do some of those successful engages and ganks. And that's exactly what they need to do to just stay in this position. They're slowly catching up on the farm. They've got a very, very good last hero. Drow Ranger obviously does so much damage when you can get her farmed up and you can get her in a position where she can just auto-attack and plow into people, essentially. And, you know, if Enigma is able to get some of those black holes like we've seen him, definitely we will be able, we'll see Drow Ranger looking for opportunities to stand in those fights and just auto attack. So right now it looks like we're going to see something of a push from MiTh-Trust. A couple of wards, very, very careful moving forward by Venomancer, and there's a pause request from Black Shaitan. We will see what's up with that in just a moment. So, if we, oh good, I can check out my stuff and look at all the items. Looks like Beastmaster has picked up a pipe. Still only has his boots. He's not too worried about picking up any sort of boot enhancements. And, you know, overall, Radiant has definitely, Myth has definitely lost a lot of their lead. They're down to about 2,000 up. They're still in a position where some of these team fights are really just not going in their favor. And that's where you can see the synergy that you've got on these heroes over here. Is like, you've got a mech, you've got Shen's ultimate, you've got that Beastmaster roar for the really big stun. You know, throw in a pipe, throw in some drums. You're in a very, very strong position, and that's without even talking about Black Hole. So it looks like we are going to go ahead and unpause here. I think we will maybe see a MiTh-Trust push here. They are pinging and looking to move forward. They do have 4 members of their team here, and you know, it's sort of interesting to see that they have not had. They've been doing this split push strategy, which has been somewhat problematic for them, because they haven't had their big damage in the form of that Weaver involved in these fights ever. Wow, Queen of Pain actually getting caught here and instantly blown up. A lot of damage just pouring into her. I think we're going to see Vengeful Spirit go down here. Enigma blinking forward, dropping a Malefice there. He is not going to need to use his Black Hole. And Windrunner's actually going to go down. That's 3. Mega kill for Drow Ranger, double kill for Drow Ranger, and suddenly here's the push they were looking for. Here's 30 seconds of uninterrupted attack that the Dire can do, and I can't help but feel like MiTh-Trust really needs to get their carry involved in this. They need to have Weaver like participating in some of these fights rather than just picking up items. Yeah, it's great that he's almost got a heart, and it's great that he's keeping up 400 damage, 400 gold per minute, but Venomancer's dead here. He might be able to teleport out, but there's the Malefice to stop him, and down goes the gem. Are they going to pick up the gem? They're actually going to leave the gem. So Venomancer may be able to recover his gem, no problem. A little sloppy there from Australia, but it's, you know, it's late. It's easy to miss stuff like that. But all of a sudden, there are 4 completely unbothered members of the enemy team there. We see a Mana Style has finished on Drow Ranger. Enigma does pick up that tower kill. Enigma with 3k in the bank. 2k in the bank for Beastmaster, 1k for Ancient Apparition, 1k for Drow Ranger. So a lot of farm, a lot of gold, and they've just been consistently on top of these team fights in a way that MiTh-Trust is unable to respond to. And we've just seen Weaver off farming, which is well and good, but, you know, it's allowed Australia to catch back up. Is instead of MiTh-Trust just keeping their lead and pushing forward, is Australia has been able to slowly hammer their way back into this by sheer virtue of winning team fights and getting a huge kill lead. It is 25-13. So really strong position for Australia. I'm supposed to stop saying that. I had someone message me about that. So shoutouts to the Lamezor for telling me to not say things that I repeat too much. You know, and definitely things are in the favor of the Dire just overall because, well, it depends. If they can get Weaver involved, Weaver has his heart now. He's got 2,700 HP. You know, he's got a lot of stuff. And we see some naughty language being drawn on the screen by Windrunner, scolding. I would be wagging my finger. But, you know, it's Weaver is level 21. The rest of his team's level 12. And that's all well and good, but, you know, Roshan's maybe going to go down here. We could have a big team fight. Weaver has to be here right now, and he's got no way to teleport there. He is going to run, but I don't know if he's going to be able to get there in time. Yes, there's the Roshan kill. Drow Ranger picking up the Aegis. Venomancer probably going to go down here. Big Shackle Shot on Ancient Apparition. Big ultimate. A lot of damage there, but it is not going to be enough to save Vengeful Spirit or Venomancer. They are just in so much trouble. And where's Weaver? Weaver's farming top lane and pushing top lane. We're going to see some teleports back. There's a Fortify, and, you know, Weaver is completely unable to do anything. He's going to try and do some damage to Beastmaster. Beastmaster does not have his ultimate, which will prevent him from killing Weaver there. Maybe. There's the Malefice. There's the Rewind. He's going to rewind and try and get away, but his invisibility is just not enough. It is enough for the run speed, though. It might be enough, but there's the blink forward. There's the... Come on, where's the Malefice? Where's the black... There's the black hole! And there goes Weaver. So that's the biggest mistake that we have seen... that we've seen MiTh-Trust make is that Weaver is basically not participating in this game beyond pushing. Which is great. It's great. You want to push. Pushing is absolutely wonderful. It's fantabulous. But the issue is that, you know, Weaver's not been participating in these team fights, and when you're 40 minutes into the game, like, you can't just be... Unless you can instantly kill a Rax, you can't be solo pushing like that. And he hasn't been in a single team fight. He's picked off some leftovers, but, you know, this barracks is going to go down. We are going to see both of these barracks go down very, very rapidly. And, you know, it's, okay, well, what are they going to do? Not a whole lot. Are they going to go for this bottom Rax? I think the answer is yes, and I think they can probably pick it off. They've still got 20 seconds until Weaver's back up, and Weaver's the only threat. The rest of the enemy team, the rest of Myth's team is, you know, still way below the Dire. They are not going to be able to engage the Dire. They are not going to be able to dance in and fight these Australians. And I think it looks like Team Australia may take... I don't know why I have an accent when I say Australia. Looks like Team Australia may take this first game. It is, of course, a best of 3. There's still plenty of room for MiTh-Trust to come back. There's a Hex on that Beastmaster. But I think we're just going to see Vengeful Spirit die after she swaps out. There's the ultimate on Weaver. Weaver taking so much damage. Is not able to live long enough to even use that time lapse. There's the GGs. That'll do it for this first game in the King of the Hill series. Of course, this is MiTh-Trust versus Australia. I'm Jero Minara. This is GhostOfGamers.net. And we are just going to see them clean up and finish this off and or leave, question mark. Usually after GG you leave, I think. Malefice, Enigma porting forward, finishing off Queen of Pain, probably going to see Windrunner maybe survive. No, she's going to get in. But that will do it for this game. This is the first game, guys. Don't worry, we've got at least one more in store for you. There's some more GGs. And this will go ahead and do it. Poor Chen. And there it goes. 7.6k for Drow, no problem. Alright, that'll do it. Let's go ahead and take a look at the numbers. And then pause.